Good morning, YouTube. We're gonna do an oil change today and clean up my engine bay. I'm gonna go over this Weber swap just to give a little bit more information about how to do that if you got one of these Couriers. It's big raining today here in southwestern Indiana, so sorry about the noise. I'm gonna try to speak up. All right, let's get started. So I've got these old fuel hoses. They come out of hard lines at the bottom. One of these days I will probably blow these out with air and then use one of the whatever the send is supposed to be. Right now we just got a rubber fuel line running into our tank back there. So just to clean this up, one of these days I'll probably blow one of these lines out and actually use the original steel line, as long as it actually works. But I'm just gonna clean up these lines here that aren't doing anything. I've just got them plugged with some bolts and a drill extension. So this Weber swap, I posted it in the first video, but I'll put another link to the kit that I ordered on eBay. So the only problem you really run into, one, I wouldn't even really necessarily call it a problem, but as you can see, the Couriers have this kind of weird thing going on. It's pretty weird. But somebody on a Ford Courier group, so this from here to here is from the original linkage from the original carburetor. So this little, it's kind of triangular-ish shaped here. This sort of rounded off triangular thing is mounted to this, but it's upside down on the original linkage. You just have to flip it and then flip this bar and then pretty much just connect everything back up. So I don't know if I would have necessarily figured that out or not. I mean, I guess I could have if I would have needed to figure it out. But yeah, it links right up to the original. You know, you just basically mount this to this and call it a day. This right here is supposed to have a bushing to kind of slide up and down. I haven't had any problems with it yet. I mean, the throttle control seems totally fine. But I would like to probably try to get a bushing. They sell those little bushing kits at Harbor Freight, so I will probably pick one of those up the next time I'm at Harbor Freight to replace that bushing. But if you want to do this, you just flip this little thingy. So this big hole here is normally at the top. I hope that's helpful. If you got any questions about it or whatever, message me on Instagram and I can you know, send you some photos or something. The only other thing that I had to do was I added this Mr. Gasket Co. fuel regulator, and I got it set at about 3.5. Everything seems good. I do want to get a tachometer hooked up to this truck. I would like to tune it using the actual, I think you're supposed to get it up at like 800 RPMs or something. And yeah, I would like to actually tune it, you know, to spec correctly, but it seems fine-ish right now. So yeah, so that's it for that. Another thing I want to try to do today, that's a quick little project, is this oil filler. I don't know, is this it's some kind of, I don't know, I can't remember what it's called. It's not a PCV, it's not part of the EGR system, or maybe it is exhaust gas, EGR, exhaust gas regulation something. But this is supposed to actually I need to take the top off of this Weber and flip it and see if I can get, there's a little, I'll show you in a minute. All right, so this little guy, he's supposed to go, I thought I could flip this. Can't flip it here because the choke is here. We're gonna address this choke another day. I'm gonna swap this out for a manual choke. It seems like some sort of an electrical problem where it warms up, so it'll fire up first try, cold start, but it doesn't want to warm start. The choke doesn't return to choke mode. So I just don't want to mess with it. I'd rather just have a manual choke and call it a day. And anytime I've let the truck warm up and then I go to start it again, you know, within 5 minutes, it won't start unless I jam the choke shut or kind of fiddle with it. It doesn't do electric choke things. It does what it wants. So I'm gonna, in a couple weeks, probably not this video, but probably the following video, I'm gonna convert this to a manual choke. I also like manual chokes more on carbureted engines. I just think it's just so much easier. Like you're not second guessing anything. You just pull it or push it. You just give it what it needs. So this little guy, this hose is obviously not gonna reach that even sort of at all. So we're not gonna mess with that today because I don't really feel like going to O'Reilly's just to get a hose. Maybe we'll mess with it tomorrow, but right now we're just gonna do the good old-fashioned oil change. The oil filter, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's blue. It's right here. So that looks like it's gonna be a whole heck of a lot of fun to get to. Got everything pieced back together. I feel like my engine bay is looking quite a bit cleaner than it was. Ran to the parts store yesterday, got some Hyper Lube ZDDP Diamond Dallas Page supplement. Provides serious superior wear protection, prevents cam and valve train wear, makes newer oils work in older engines. All right, so I reckon should probably fire this thing up, let the oil lubricate, get all the gunk at the bottom, hopefully come out a little bit faster. Not hot, but you know, let it run for 2 or 3 minutes or something, and then we'll jack up the front end and get this oil changed. We'll let the fuel pump prime for a second, and then I'm just gonna give it some hand pumps, little squirts, and then let's see if she fires as a cold start. I'd mentioned in another video that I thought this guy had changed the oil. I'm pretty sure the oil extractor nut, whatever it's called, I don't know why my brain doesn't work, is under this. And this thing's chock full of hay and farming. So I'm gonna guess he never changed the oil in this truck. Maybe he changed. There's receipts. Maybe I don't know. I don't think he changed the oil because I don't know why this thing would be full of gunk, because when we trailered it home, it didn't go through a hayfield. So I'm gonna get this skid plate pulled off. We'll get all this dirt from under here, and then we'll change the oil. Okay, so maybe I'm dumb, maybe I'm not. I don't have to remove the skid plate because there's the bolt to drain the oil, but I'm going to remove the skid plate because I want to get all that crap out from under the skid plate. this bolt, last one, the head was kind of mushroomed out, so I thought it might have been a standard bolt that somebody had replaced, but it's all gummed up. I don't know if I'm gonna put this skid plate back on here or not. I ain't going off-roading, so yeah, well, I say that. If I lower this, I definitely need a skid plate, so never mind. I will put this thing back on. We might have to replace this bolt. It's not happy. Oh, well, I just bent the skid plate. Cool. Well, I got her off there. There's a nut, like welded or riveted or whatever this, and it started bending the metal, so I'll probably just put her back on there with 3. I might have to zip that off with something. But yeah, all right. I don't think I'm gonna need to jack the truck up, so that's cool. I'm just gonna slide the oil pan under there and get some oil out. I'm guessing that's a 14. Nope. 13. Where are you, my little 13? There you are. Yep, she's the 13. All right, let's get this oil drained. Stay. No. Okay. Don't stay. Sit over here. That's fine. All right. Here we go. Let's see what this oil looks like. Okay, great. Cool. That's locked in there. Cool, love it. This little tabs over here, so I might just try to find something to stick on the end of this wrench. That thing is got 140,000 pounds PSI of torque on it, so that's great. You know you're off to a good start. Whoa. What the heck? I can't get this on here now. Cool. I tried to, off camera, I tried to stick a breaker bar in here, but the tab that holds the skid plate on is in the way. I can't get this on here, and then all my wrenches are too wide to make a breaker bar with a wrench. Let me keep digging. I decided to try to use the open end of the wrench. I think I'm moving it now, or I'm just stripping it. Yeah, I'm just stripping it. Yeah. Bad words. Should I try to... Yeah, bro, this thing is just... Okay. Well, I'm glad this video is going to become more entertaining. I might have to try to weld a wrench onto this. It's probably what I'm going to have to do, because this is just stripping. Yeah, it's just... She's just stripping. Alright, before I start getting buck nasty, I'm gonna try to bend this tab down so I can get a socket on this, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm gonna try to bend this out of the way. Keyword try. Remember when I said I might not ever put this skid plate back on? That's looking like I might have to saw this off of here, because I gotta get, I'm gonna try to get a 6-point socket on this and get it in there some way or another. Obviously, I can heat it up. I could weld a wrench onto it. Man, I can't get that bent. That's a thick boy. That ain't really working too good. I ain't got a whole lot of room in here. Now, this fits. I wish that I could beat on it with a hammer. Oh, I got it. We got it. Heck yeah. Let's see what this oil looks like. You ever do an oil change and not get oil on your fingers? Alright, it's coming. Looking like a little bit of water, maybe. No. I mean, it's not super milky. It smells like it's got a little bit of coolant, a little bit of gas. It definitely smells gassy. I'm more worried, yeah. It's definitely, it's friggin' blacker than Joe Biden's soul. So, I'm glad we're doing this. I'm also glad that we didn't completely destroy this, but I'm not going to blame that on myself. I mean, I didn't really do it any favors, but she'll ride. I'm going to order a new one, but this'll work for now. Cool, that makes me feel better. Next step is to get that nightmare of a filter off, so we'll work on that next. Had to cheat on the O'Reillys again. I ordered a transmission filter and a transmission pan gasket, so we're gonna service this automatic transmission too. Alright, while that oil finishes draining, we're gonna see if the same person that torqued that oil drain plug also torqued this oil filter. Hopefully they didn't. Hopefully a different feller did that. Now, how do they expect anyone to ever get this off of here? I guess there's room. I might just do the old stab it with a screwdriver and use the torque of the screwdriver. I mean, I'm not going to try that first. That's not going to be step one, but it might be step two. So I'll do this one-handed, but it's up under this intake, and like, you can't, there's nowhere to do it. I can kind of get a grip on it. Let me get a couple more sips of coffee and think about it. Well, I can't find my oil filter wrench, but I got the DeWalt's. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get these in here though. Let's see. This is a chunky boy. This is the biggest oil filter I've ever seen in my life. It's bigger than than this. It's bigger than this. That's big. I might have to go to the store and buy another oil filter wrench. Let's see. I can't even tell what's happening. I'm kind of getting a grip on it. Okay, she's spinning.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
See if we can use the old fingies now. Look how silly this is. You gotta fit it between the distributor. So, I gave her the old remove now move. Look how big that is. It's like dang near the size of this carburetor. Boop. Let her drain. Somehow, this thing is still, oil is still coming out of this thing. I heard a little drippy drip, 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 and I was like, there ain't no way. It's been like 10 minutes. We'll just keep letting her drain though. So I got the old wicks. So I'm gonna put some gaff tape on this, put the mileage and the date, and then we'll get it back on there. So today, the video number 1 is getting posted. So this will be video number 5. So we'll be in a time warp. But the website's up, the Patreon's up. I've been posting on Instagram. So I hope you guys are having fun following along on this project. I really appreciate all the support so far that I don't know if I have yet because I haven't posted the video, but I've been telling my friends and family about the channel and everybody's gotten really excited. So I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe if you're interested in, you know, what I'm doing or this Courier. If you got any suggestions, leave a comment. And if you wouldn't mind, please like and follow me on Instagram. All right, she's got about 60K on her. And it's June 4th, so I'm just going to put June. This is the only Sharpie I could find. I need to go to the Walmarts and get some more Sharpies and a couple more things at some point today. Okay, we're going to slap a little bit of oil in this filter. I can't put too much because it sits sideways. There was a little bit in it, though, in the old one when I pulled it out. So if we spill a little bit, we spill a little bit. It is what it is. Do a couple holes for precision filling. All right. Let's see how much oil I spill on the ground. The floor. Okay. I don't want to drop this, I'll tell you that. I can see it. Am I spilling oil? I don't know. Just trying to see with my fingies here. All right, let's get this drain plug back on and not torque it to friggin' the moon. I don't know where I put it. Where'd you go? Cool. No idea where it went. Great. Yeah, you can see how much oil I dropped on the ground. Oh, here she is. I gotta find my funnel. All right. Remove him. Funnel. I don't love that, but that's okay. I'm gonna put some of this in says 5 quarts on the internet, 4.7. So I'm gonna put the zinc additive in and then probably do down to about, I don't know, here-ish. I've never used this, so this isn't like, for what it's worth, some kind of a, you know, recommendation from Figure It Out Garage, but it says for cars and light trucks 96 and older, add 1 bottle to engine crankcase. If you got yourself a new rig from 97 to 2004, you add half the bottle, and you got yourself a grand spanking new rig, you just use 1/4 a bottle of this thing. So, yep, here we go. Huh. There we go. We're pouring faster now. Oh, we're pouring too fast. There's oil on it. Obviously. There's oil on the floor too, but not from changing it, not from pouring in more oil in. Yeah, we're at the max line. Obviously, it's not hot, so hopefully I didn't put too much in. Better too much than not enough, I guess. I don't know. Look how big of a mess I made from an oil change. Okay, move the D-waltz. Let's see if this thing will fire up. I mean, it's been 30 minutes, so I guess it's probably cold, and the oil is cold. Maybe that, do you think that that would cool it off? I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. Anyway, let's see what she does. Oh yeah, right at 50 pounds again. We're good. Great success. It could just be my wishful thinking and I didn't really film it, but I let it run for about 5 minutes and I think it actually sounds quite a bit better, so that's good. What I think we're gonna do now, I need to get some new wheels and tires on this friggin' thing. I've been looking around on Facebook Marketplace. There's a guy about 10 minutes away that seems to, I don't know, I guess he owns a used tire shop or something. I think I'm gonna give him a call. A couple of these tires look like they're about to have babies. You know, they got the bulge going on them. I kind of feel like when I did those tie rods, I wasn't super particular about the alignment. Because I'm not an alignment shop. But, I mean, you guys saw me do it on episode 2 and 3, but I can't really tell if my alignment is super off, which I'm sure it's not great, or if a huge part of the reason I'm getting the wobble, it starts getting wobbly at about 30 miles an hour. But none of these tires have wheel weights on them, and they're about to explode. So I really just need to get new wheels and tires on this thing, and then probably worry about the tie rod measurements and stuff. So I've got about 3 hours to do stuff. So maybe I'll give this feller a call and see what he's got, and maybe we can put new wheels and tires on it today. It kind of seems like you might have like a little, I don't know, home junkyard, because it looked like on the map he was like in a neighborhood. So we're gonna do a little unboxing of our Duralast. Oh yeah, okay. This is what you want to see. This is why I don't buy things from AutoZone. This has surface rust on it. What are we doing? It also has dirt on it. Like, what are we doing? I mean, I think I can just get this off of here, but should I? Or should I just order another one? Hey, I went and got some wheels and tires. These supposedly came off of a Chevy Love, so they should fit. Got a Brillantis to their 195/70 14s, the same size that's on there. Real nice feller mounted and balanced them for me. I was gone for like 2 hours, so that was a really cool waste. Well, it wasn't a waste, but of course everything takes longer than you think that it should. Me and my wife have got to go get my daughter, so I'm gonna mount one of these up, just make sure they work. We'll film that, and then we need to do stuff. We need to do things, so we'll do some things to the truck tomorrow. But I just want to see if I'm a little worried that, you know, there's a chance that the calipers might not work or something, but I think they should. So we're gonna see on one of the tires here. Wheel. Oh yeah, that's definitely more gooder. I gotta shine them up a little bit better, but that compared to the old grandpa trailer wheels. Woo! Good afternoon. We're gonna replace some transmission fluid. So I've been doing some research, and well, I got the manual out too. But so this engine's got 60,000 miles on it, but it's been sitting forever. The transmission fluid kind of smells a little burnt. The color's still decent, but I figured, hey, it's not gonna hurt. It also might teach somebody how to do something. I've done a transmission drain and fill on like a more modern vehicle, but I've never done it on an old one. So I got the manual out. Basically, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We got to warm the truck up for a few minutes to, you know, make sure it's moistened up, lubricated around, warmed up so it drains better. So we got a new filter that has surface rust on it, even though it's brand new, so I'm going to clean that off. And then we basically just got to get under here, remove the pan, and then we fill it from the checker, the dipstick hole. So I might have to go get a smaller funnel for that. So long story, I've been driving around all day trying to find. So the internet says this thing takes 6.6 quarts of type F automatic transmission fluid. So type F is a transmission fluid that Ford used, like, sort of seems like pre-1980. It's kind of hard to find, sort of. Well, you can't find it in big jugs. You can't find the big gallon jugs of it. You can find the quarts, but Walmart only had 3, and then O'Reilly's had, I don't remember, but they're like $9 a bottle. So I thought I was gonna have to buy 6 of them. So I didn't really want to spend $60 after tax for some transmission fluid, because I don't really even completely know this needs transmission fluid. I'm just trying to do something that's going to benefit the vehicle in the long run. So I didn't want to do that. So I drove around. I went to Meijer, went to Walmart. Advance Auto Parts said that they had a gallon jug in stock. They didn't. Anyway, so the manual, it says you fill it with 2.8. It says about 3 quarts initially, and then it basically just says you might have to add a little bit more. You're supposed to kind of let it idle for you do the 2.8, and then you shift through the gears, and then you put it in neutral, and then you check it, and then it basically just says, like, don't overfill it, that's bad, don't underfill it, that's bad. Which, yeah, we know. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I have to jack the truck up. I don't even think I will have to. Maybe I will, I don't know. I'm gonna climb under there, see if I have to jack the truck up. If I do, then we will do that. And then I got the gasket and the filter, so we'll drain it, and then I will see kind of how many quarts-ish came out, because they had 3 quarts at Walmart. I should have just bought them, but I thought I needed to get 4 more, and I wasn't trying to like mix types and blah, blah, blah. So we'll see how much comes out. That will determine how much we go and buy. There's the transmission pan right past the exhaust. You can't see it at all. you might be able to see the bolts now. So I think if I go in on the other side, I think I can just do it without jacking the truck up. So maybe, I don't know. Let me get an oil pan under there and we'll see. Alright. Got a jack and a jack stand. I could have done this. Two jack stands, rather. I could have done this without it being jacked up, but this is just going to be so much easier. So, alright. That's looking like 10 or 12 millimeters, so I'm going to go grab some tools and see what this transmission fluid looks like, and we'll see what the bottom of this transmission looks like. Alright, I let it warm up for a little while. Got up to like 150-ish, which probably isn't what they mean, but that's okay. Let's see what size these bolts are. They are 10s. This extension is too long. Let's grab another extension. So I'm about halfway. I dropped, you might believe this because I'm an idiot, but I dropped my extension into the oil pan, and it just so happened to perfectly roll in the hole. So I dug around for it for a minute, and then I said, nah. So we're starting to get some drippy drips here. This exhaust is hot, as you would imagine it to be. Can I reach? Yes. Don't want to drop any of these bolts in the pan with the socket, obviously. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of, you know, isolate the drippy droppies to over here, so it can kind of slowly drippy droppy whilst I remove the remaining bolts. So I'm really just on the exhaust side now, trying to get these off. And I can't see over there, and I can't reach my hands really good because the exhaust is hot, but that's okay. I'm just gonna figure it out, you know. That's tighten. That's tighten. Okay, what are we doing? There we go. Man. Okay, so I'm gonna try to finger release the ones over here, and then bring a little bit more slack on the ones on the other side. All right, I don't have torque on any of them, I don't think. So I'm just gonna try to pry this over here. You can see it's already kind of dripping. I'm gonna replace the gasket, but I'm gonna be kind of careful with the prying because I don't obviously wanna mess anything up. See if this guy will work here. I just wanna get a little bit of you know. Ah! Oh, that could have been worse. It smells like kind of burnt automatic transmission fluid. All right, I got transmission fluid in my mouth, but this was probably a complete and total waste of time. Everything looks great. So, there it is. There's the filter. So I got to take off another 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 bolts to replace that. So that'll be fun. So, yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and pull this filter off while it's dripping on my face. And then we'll pull the gasket off. And I'll show you the inside of the pan, but everything looks totally great and good. So, that's okay. I mean, you know, better to know than not know. And I would say, judging how much Type F ATF we have on the floor, I think the 3-quart thing is good. So, we're gonna try to wrap this up as soon as we can, and then we'll run to Walmart because they had 3 quarts there. We're just gonna get the Walmart Type F. So, all right, I'm gonna pull this filter off, and I'll let you guys check that out too. Okay, so now that I got, so there was like 9, 7, I don't know. There was an amount of smaller 8mm headed bolts, and then there's some bigger chunky boys down here that are 10. So as I release these, more fluid is coming out. So what I think I'm gonna do is probably let this drain while I go get the new ATF, and then we'll just slap it back together. I didn't do a time lapse or anything until like I realized there's these 3 bolts, and then I just also wanted to kind of show you like kind of what happens. So I had this under here, kind of expecting that to happen, so I did, and there it is. So yes, carry on. Here's the filter. There's no gunk. I mean, you can see a little bit of swirly metal in there, but it's like really fine particulate, as I think you would expect. This says RT. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know why it says RT, but it does. There are a couple shavings here, but it looks good. Everything looks good. I'm gonna peel this gasket off. Probably have to scrape it. I'm gonna have to get some kitty litter when I go get my Type F ATF. And then the only other thing that might be of interest to someone who's doing this, there were those 3 big bolts I was talking about. I went ahead and put those where they went. I mean, it's pretty obvious where the other ones go, but I just didn't want to accidentally slam one of those in one of the small holes and think it was going to thread in. So, all right, I'm going to pull this gasket off, and then we'll go get some ATF. I got all that gasket off there, hit it with some Scotch-Brite. Just gonna wipe it off a little bit. I was gonna paint it, but there's really just no point. No one's ever gonna see it. And it's not gonna be dry by the time I get home from getting the ATF. So she's rusty and she's trusty, so it's fine. It's actually not even really that bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this new filter in before I leave, so I don't forget how it goes back in. Pretty simple. The manual, I think it says like 3 foot-pounds, so I'm not gonna use a torque wrench, but I'm just gonna give it a boop with a little 1/4-inch drive ratchet. But I'm gonna go ahead. Oh yeah, so this is that filter I ordered. I guess I should have checked that, but yeah, we're good. No, we're not good. It doesn't fit, so that's cool. So we're just gonna put this old filter back in. Hopefully the gasket's right. I'm sure it's not. The filter's different. Luckily the gasket is also wrong, so That's great. I love that. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make a gasket and we're gonna reuse the old filter. So I'll clean the old filter with some brake clean. All right, I got some blue gasket and I got some red. I'm gonna use the red because it's high temperature. If I'm doing this wrong, that's okay. It'll work. It should work, and if it doesn't, then it'll just leak a little bit, and I'll just have an auto changing transmission fluid. Got it all gasket makered up. Trying to put the cap back on with one hand. Can't do that. It's gasket ultra red Permatex gasket maker high temp 81,630. All right, I'm gonna get this back on. I'm gonna go to the Walmarts and then I'm gonna watch my daughter play soccer for a little bit, and then I'll come back and then we'll put ATF in this thing. Woo! All right, I torqued them all down to good enough. I got a bunch of ATF in my hair. It's raining, and I don't know if I doubt my daughter's gonna be having soccer, so I'm gonna go get some ATF. ATF. I've said, how many times have I said ATF? Yeah, ATF. Pan's back on. We're back. All right, so I went and I watched my daughter play soccer, and then it started raining. I did get to say hi to her. Her mom took her, so that was cool. She's doing a little camp this year. She played her first soccer league this year. She did really well. Yeah, so her mom took her to the soccer camp. I'm stabbing a hole in this. Why am I using this screwdriver? Okay, I'm gonna not use my pocket knife because, oh, okay, I made enough of a hole. All right, so we got the finest Super Tech Walmart ATF. So as per the manual, I'm gonna do 2.6 quarts. And then I was gonna get some snake oil, but then I thought I had some snake oil, but I didn't. I think I got it-ish. My math isn't mathing, so we'll just call it 1,000. So we're a little bit under 400, so that should be close enough. I can always add more, I can't take away. Refill the transmission. After adding the fluid, start the engine and allow it to idle. Shift through all positions slowly to allow the fluid to fill all the hydraulic passages. So I guess I need to probably lower it so I can shift through the gears. I don't really want to get in it up on these jack stands. And then run the engine at idle to allow the fluid to reach the operating temperature. Place the selector level at neutral or park and check the fluid level. It should be above the L mark on the hot side of the dipstick. If necessary, add more fluid to bring it between the L and the F. I don't think there's an L or an F on this thing. check to make sure it's not leaking now, I guess. Yeah. So this is what they mean between L and F. I don't know how well you can see it, but between here and here, and it's sitting about here. So I think we're good. I'll check it again before I drive it again. I'm gonna shut her off. All right, well that's gonna be it for this week's episode. There is a car show this weekend. I'm gonna take the truck. I might try to get some content, show you guys some cool rigs at the car show. It's the biggest one of the year in Evansville. That's not like a more of kind of a festival thing. We got the Frog Follies here. That's a really cool show. And then we also have this one that's like pre-78. It's called the Evil Shindig. And that one is also cool. Those are later on in the summer. But if I get a chance to film some rigs, I'm gonna try to kind of slap this on at the end, or maybe it'll be in the next video. I don't really know. Thank you guys for all the support. Thanks for buying t-shirts. Thanks for everybody who signed up for Patreon. Thank you for watching. Please like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Keep figuring it out.